I am going to make an attempt to try to force myself to have fun doing something. How do you go back to showing the initial prompts? Enable tutorial. Graphics. Don't really want any. How about we do windowed borderless? Don't think that looks right. Yeah, it's cutting off the text at the top. Whoa, it's glitching. Am I gonna have to uninstall this? Oh, I can't see anything. Okay, it's stabilized. It's not stabilized. It's so bizarre. I know you can't see it, but like it's just doing this rapid flashing thing whenever I try to it's like toggling back and forth between like being a windowed mode and full screen when I try to click on it. It's rendering in OBS fine, but what I'm looking at is not that. It's like it's cycling through tabs. Oh, look at that. Interesting. Aha, I think I got it. Alright, it looks like it's stabilized now. Use shader cache. What does that do? When a node is added to a scene for the first time, dead monsters spawn, ripples shoot from a wand, etc. The game may stutter because those nodes' shaders need to be compiled. Enabling the shader cache should remove these stutters forever after they have been loaded once. When this is enabled for the first time, the game will take longer to start up as it has to generate the cache. Every time after this should take a normal amount of time. This should only be enabled on machines with more than 4 GB of memory, as this feature greatly increases memory usage. I've got like 32 GB installed right now, so that should be fine. Alright, I don't know what happened to the tutorial, but like the thing where like I would be able to hover over stuff and it would explain stuff is gone, and there's no way to re-enable it. I can't really push the video as far as it could go. Because I've only got like a old Radeon card. Like I don't have a 4090 yet. Alright, let's at least try to do the how to play thing. Rogue FP. Hail and well met, Rogue. The dungeons of Doom are a dangerous place, indeed, so coming to me was a good idea. First, a dungeon young developer. No matter how slow I read, I still stutter over stuff. Stumble over stuff. First, a young dungeon delver such as yourself should be familiar with the controls. Alright. Mouse is look, aim. WASD is move. Spacebar is attack. Or left click. Wait, no. R1. What is R1? Oh, they're talking about like a controller. I do have a controller, so I could try to use it. Spacebar is attack. Descend or ascend. Left click is fire. So what's the difference between attack and fire? Oh, so left click is for ranged weapons. Spacebar is for melee weapons. F, B button. Zap with a wand or staff. Wouldn't that be Z? Why isn't it Z? Q or Y button. Oh, there's a difference between buttons and key presses. Q is search. Well, I'm just gonna be spamming Q all the time then. For hidden passages, doors, and traps. Hold Q, Y button is wait until fully healed. Hold control is walk over an item without picking it up. Well, I don't know, I would never, I mean, unless like inventory is very limited, like why would I ever want to not pick something up? M is to view map. Double press toggle. Is there a way to turn off like the scrolling thingy in the background? Like, it's kind of making me motion sick a little bit. Well, it's not motion sickness, it's just kind of distracting. Escape is to open the pause menu. E button is inventory. Mouse is to navigate. Well, duh. Right click select is to show all options on an item. Shift is to speed up time. Double press to toggle. Yeah. Pressing Q while the map is toggled can also be used to descend the stairs. So not ascend them, just descend them. Searching an already revealed trap will disarm it. So search was Q. So you press Q to search for it, and then Q to disarm it. I'm gonna see if my microphone will pick up the train out there. That's a yes. Okay. Gameplay. Your goal, should you ever wish to join the Fighters Guild, is to journey many floors down into the Dungeon of Doom, retrieve the Amulet of Yendor, and then bring it back up to the surface. But be warned, many have tried to seek the amulet, and only a scant few have ever returned. Dungeon will test the limits of your perseverance. But if you are to survive, then there are a few things you need to watch out for. First, you need to know First, you must know how time works in the dungeon. Time flows normally when you move around and stops when you stop, giving you time to think about your current situation. However, performing an action like attacking or switching weapons will take turns worth of time. Take a turn's worth of time. Okay. The same applies to monsters. If they attack you, they must wait one turn before they can do anything else. Keep an eye on the timer on the bottom right to get a feel for the movement of time. No, I don't want to have to manage food. I played Ultima like a Calibeth, and managing food was always a pain, because you could just die from starvation. Yep, the alternative is starving to death. Next is food. Exerting yourself in the dungeon will quickly make you hungry. If you run out of food, you better keep your eyes peeled for any slime molds or rations laying around. The alternative is starving to death. Watch your stats bar and the game log to make sure you haven't gotten hungry without realizing it. You are starting to feel weak, very hungry. Items. Within the dungeon there are many unknown magical items including potion scrolls, wand staves, and rings. If you can't identify them with certain scrolls, the only way to figure out what they do is to try them. This can be potentially very dangerous, but at times fortune favors the bold. Unfortunately, due to some wicked nature of the dungeon, every time someone enters the place, the appearance of the magic items is scrambled, leaving the next adventurer to have to identify them all over again. Truly devious. So you could have two items that are both named ring, but in each delve, the ring would be something, have a different effect to it. Cursed items. Not every item you find in the dungeon will be helpful. So like that. Like that's why you have to identify them every single stink of time. Some magic items are cursed and will give you unwanted effects. Some pieces of armor or weapons are cursed and will give you negative modifiers in battle. Not only that, but they can't be unequipped. You either hope to find a scroll of remove curse or make the best of your situation. The key to success is perseverance. Hidden. Oh no. Next is hidden passages and doors. At times you will reach the end of a passage that appears to end abruptly. Fear not and consult your map with the M key. If it looks like there could possibly be a room beyond the passage, try searching with Q a few times and the way may reveal itself. Remember that passages don't always show themselves with just one search. Really? I'm gonna have to just keep spamming like Q like over and over and over again. Then I'd run out of food. When taking on the dungeon at harder difficulties, it is also possible I think we're safe. Any place. Some rooms are dark and you can only see the tiles directly around you. Walls and doors will stay illuminated when you walk by them, but not floors. Huh. Be careful that you don't bump into an enemy. Hallways are dark as well. You can see the floor where you have walked because you have mapped it. Don't be surprised if a monster follows you out of a room or attacks you from behind. Okay, so monsters aren't going to be mapped. Alright, I am going to switch out of this mode. Because it is just doing a really glitchy thing and I can't make it stop. Okay, options, video, windowed borderless. Actually, let's just do windowed. Maybe it's the driver that's bad. Great, we're just doing this instead. So dungeons are mapped, monsters are not, obviously. Lastly, on each floor there are stairs that lead down to the floor below. Okay, what do those look like? To descend the stairs, you must look at them and press space while standing on them. Is that big X thing? Well, you were looking at the map, or space while standing on them, or if you're looking at the map, the Q key will also work. They say to find the amulet of Yendor, you must go at least 24 floors deep. So it's kind of like Akalabeth, where you had to go down like a certain number of dungeons to defeat the dragon. Equipment. As a last piece of advice, here are the relative strengths of the weapons and armors you will find in the dungeon. Keep in mind that these are unenchanted comparisons. Frozen leg of mutton is equivalent to a longsword. So with melee, the best thing is a two-handed sword. For range, the best thing is a... Wait. So a dart is the best thing that you can have? I don't understand. Relative strength. Your shuriken is the best thing. Two-handed sword is the best thing. Plate mail is the best thing. Splint mail? I've never heard of splint mail. Remember though that leather armor and studded leather armor cannot be rusted by aquators? What's an aquator? Or traps? Bits. If you score a clean hit on a monster, you might end up hacking off a little bit of it. Monster bits are... This looks really complicated. So he's killing the turkey, getting a hand. They have the tutorial video playing really fast. If you score a clean hit on a monster, you might end up hacking off a little bit of it. Monster bits are helpful. Monster bits are useful since they can be used as improvised armor enchantments. You just pick it up off the ground and then select it in your inventory and slap it onto your armor. Each monster bit bestows its own type of enchantment, so feel free to mix and match. If you have 2 or more of the same type, however, it will increase your armor rating by 1, so that is also something to think about. But on the other hand, sometimes a monster gets a good hit on you. If that happens, then one of your monster bits that you have equipped will be damaged. They can only take about 3 good hits until they completely fall apart. That's about it for their main use, though some of them have special effects when thrown, and maybe even more effects besides that. Try them out and see what happens. So I would probably go to the Wikipedia page or wiki page for it if it's got one, and just kind of look at the table for all that, because I don't like not being able to know what it is I'm doing in a video game. Like, I'm here for the experience of the game, not necessarily the discovery part of it. Deep enchantments. Furthermore, sometimes in the dungeon you will come across... This is way more complicated than I thought it would be. Furthermore, sometimes in the dungeon you will come across named weapons with deeper enchantments than those that just help you hit the monsters. These deep enchantments have differing effects based off of the name of the weapon was... These deep enchantments have differing effects based off the name the weapon was given. A holding longsword, for example, will hold any monster in place for a short while before being struck. So it's a paralysis or freeze, or yeah, it's a paralysis spell. A weapon called the Undead Slayer will make zombies, liches, phantoms, wraiths, and vampires all easier to hit, while also doing bonus damage on top of any pluses damage the weapon might also have. So it makes them easier to hit and does bonus damage to them on top of anything that the weapon has. It's important to remember that the first word in a weapon name will affect all monsters, while the second word only affects a named monster or monsters of that specific type. There's a lot in this thing. Tips 1, tips 2, tips 3. Right. Grass and torches. An oily and extremely flammable grass grows preventively in the dungeons, and it takes but a single spark to turn a small patch of it into a blazing inferno. Incidentally, there are often torches precariously placed just above the grass patches, just above such grass patches throughout the dungeons. Remember to look for opportunities to use this to your advantage. So if there's like an enemy there, you'd want to strike it. But you don't want to be like right next to it or inside of it. To dislodge a torch from the wall, aim at the wall it is attached to and press the attack key, usually space. Torches can also be dislodged with projectiles and wands of bolting. There may be other ways they can be loosed as well, so be careful. So you can look up and down, it looks like. Use arrows and other ranged weapons to your advantage. Some monsters do not hurt you, but instead harm you in other ways. Ice monsters can slowly freeze you to death if you are unlucky. Well, that sounds like harm. Nymphs steal your magic items, and leprechauns can steal your gold. It is better to deal with these monsters before they can get close to you. Equip your arrows and fire away. H. What is H? Giant H. There's a special scroll in the dungeon called Scroll of Scare Monster. Monsters, despite their aggression, will not be able to strike you if you're standing on the scroll. What? Alright, on the rogue difficulty, merely reading the scroll will do nothing and waste it. This might sound unfair if you have an unidentified scroll of Scare Monster and you end up reading it unwittingly. However, if you are willing to take the time, you could try holding the control key, stepping onto some of the scrolls you see on the ground. If monsters are unable to attack you, then huzzah, you have found an invaluable spell. You have found an invaluable scroll of Scare Monster and identified it without using any other scrolls of identity. Well, yeah, but what if it's like Fireball scroll? Then that wouldn't do anything. And since you have done that, you are able to use it twice as well. I guess... What? Once when you first step on it, and the second when you drop it again to use it. So you drop it to use it? Unfortunately, scrolls of Scare Monster will crumble after they have been dropped. On other difficulty levels, the scroll will leap from your hands and onto the floor once it has been read so that it is not wasted. Oh, well, I'm playing it on Novice, so... There's a monster in the dungeon called an Aquator. Kinda looks like a tortoise. This creature does no damage to you and is harmless. However, this creature will splash you with an acidic water. Acidic. That should be an acidic water that will damage your armor, decreasing its effectiveness every time you are hit. It might simply be better to take off your armor before fighting an Aquator. If you are fighting an Aquator and another monster at the same time, well, you'll have to weigh your odds and decide what to do. Okay. Let's see how many of these there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. There's 31. Actually, it would make sense if there's 32 enemies, probably because that has something to do with, like, memory constraints, you know? I'd rather just, like, encounter the enemies, like, as I go. My gold pile should be 0. Why does it show 3 gold then, though? wish it would show the tooltips for each one of these. Dungeon entrance slams itself shut behind you with a sound like thunder. After the echoes, there's only silence. Well, aren't you a brave one for coming here? But the Fighters Guild doesn't take greenhorns, you know? First things first, you need to know the controls. Use the mouse to look around and WASD to move. Press the M key to open up your map and press the E key to get to your inventory. The only way you're going to find the Amulet of Yendor and bring it back is by finding the hidden stairs on each floor of the dungeons. So get to looking and I'll tell you about the things we'll find along the way. By the way, you can hold the shift key to move faster, but remember that everything else will as well. That's a fine pile of gold there. No one knows where it comes from, so we assume the dungeons themselves puts it there. It is real gold though, and there are piles of it in every nook and cranny of this place. There's nothing to buy down here, so dungeon delvers like to use the amount they get for bragging rights. Either you gather up enough, you might find that you're the talk of the taverns around the town. Well, I don't really care about that. All I care about is food and weapons and armor and spells and stuff. I'm just up against a wall. That looks like a monster. Yeah, it's asleep. Chance to hit. So what kind of equipment do I have? This is your inventory. Not a lot here, but at least your food, at least your weapon isn't too bad and you brought some food with you. Left clicking on anything in your inventory will do the obvious action. Wear armor, wield a weapon, read a scroll, eat food, and so on. I've got a mace. What is A? What does A mean? A+1. Huh. Potion of intoxication. What does that mean? But if you want to do something else, like throw a bad potion or drop a depleted wand, you can right click on the item, the menu will appear and show you all the possible actions for that item. They don't all work though. I can't begin to tell you about the amount of people I've seen try to eat their leather armor raw. They ran out of food. Monster bits, on the other hand, might be edible if you're desperate. Flask of the good stuff. Use it only when you need to. You're not likely to. Reduces damage and increases strength. Interlocking rings that provide decent body protection. Best one they had at the shop. It's a mace. Oh, hello. 26. 26 what? Quaff. 26 arrows. But do I have a bow? Do I need a bow to use it? we supposed to click on this now? How do I unwield the arrows? Oh, okay. So I remember... I just not have a bow? I can't use it? Why does this show as red? It would be difficult to wrap that around a finger. Just quaff. So wear and put on do the same thing. And zoom in. So asterisk means gold. K means kestrel. Okay, what is... Just want to see what the control is for, it's just left mouse. No. Plus 0 arrows. But I got the projectile hits, projectile misses. You now have 24 arrows. Okay, so it's working like it's supposed to. You defeated the projectile, or the kestrel. Weapons. Ah, a shiny new weapon, maybe. Some weapons you find in the dungeon might be enchanted, doubly enchanted, or even thrice enchanted. Some, however, can be cursed. If a weapon is cursed, not only is it worse to use in combat, it's also stuck to your hand. You can't unequip it. Your only hope is to find a scroll of remove curse, although I've heard that there's a certain type of monster that will uncurse you if you kill it. There are also named weapons in the dungeons that have deeper enchantments as well, flaming maces and singing swords and such. There are also weapons that do extra damage against certain monster types. It might be a good idea to hold them onto multiple weapons just in case you need one in particular. Okay. So like one for zombies, one for vampires, or that kind of thing. And in case you've been wondering, to use ranged weapons like arrows and shurikens, equip them from your inventory and then left-click your mouse. Don't worry if you miss, you can usually pick up arrows that have missed their mark. Well, we did have one that missed, so maybe I can track that down. so I recovered it. So I'm looking at the clock in the lower right hand corner there. Each key press of this, like, should be right on top of it. So how do I get the bits out of it? Did it take time for me to equip that? It did. It took like a half hour for me to equip it. I guess it just didn't yield any bits. So turning is a free motion. I want to go in the direction of this stuff, I guess. So how do I harvest mold and stuff? Just emptiness. I eat grass. I see a monster way over there. What is that? Not within range yet. It's an emu, I think. HP is 14 of 20. Emu barely misses you. The news, Kestra's killing me. Okay. It looks like you've taken some damage. You'll heal slowly just by walking around the dungeons, but if you want, you can hold the search key, Q, and quickly wait until you're at full health. And if you see any bonfires around, waiting near those will heal you even faster. But when you're waiting, make sure to keep an eye on your hunger. What am I supposed to eat? Oh, so that's what these are. Here, how do you search a thingy? controls. Search for hidden passages, blah blah blah. Gameplay. Food. Defeated the emu. Items. Let's see the part about bits. You score a clean hit, you might end up hacking off a little bit of it. Okay, so you're not guaranteed a bit from a monster. It's just they might be there and they might not. So torches don't actually do anything, it looks like, when they're on the walls. Huh. Interesting. We're just going through ruins. Oh, that's how you know you're on the first level. What is the music picking up? Is it because of that thing? Looks like it could be a monster. Yeah, it's like a snake. Oh, I'm gonna get the treasure first. How do you like exit the dungeon though? Oops, I shouldn't have faced it yet. Okay. We're live again. Where do we need to go? I think there's something on the other side of this, like some kind of colorful thingy. F. What is, or it's a upside down? No, it's an F. Okay. Are we both circling each other? Okay, where are we going? I guess that corner. Over here. It looks like a place you put a trap. Skulls. Okay, we're getting into a lot of stuff now. What am I supposed to eat? Right, so the ampersand looks like the pointy, like the curl, where it just starts to curl, like that's the direction that you're facing in. What is this? Oh, it's a ring. While a ring might look pretty on your finger, in the dungeons it can have serious side effects. Most rings down here are enchanted and will have unique effects. If the ring hasn't been identified, then you won't be able to see what its effect is. You can identify it with the Scroll of Identify or Scroll of Identify wand ring, but you have to find one of those first. Well, how do you know it's... How are you supposed to know if it's a Scroll of Identify without a scroll to identify the identification scroll? If you put on a cursed ring, it shrinks and you can't get it off, so it is important to weigh your options before putting one on. Also, it is important to know that while magic rings are powerful, they have to get that power from somewhere. You will get hungry and much sooner and wearing just one ring, let alone two. So if you run out of food, you better take your rings off if you have any on. Having said that, there's no problem hunger-wise with popping one on and off just to see if it's cursed or not. Oh, and no more than one ring per hand. Dungeons rules, not mine. And besides, if you had more than a couple rings on, you'd wither away to nothing but minutes. Or to nothing within minutes anyway. We now have an obsidian ring. So does red show what you've equipped? YOLO. What does that do? How do you know if something is equipped? Reading is a free action, apparently. Zombie. Alright, I'm gonna aim for the head. Whatever that red X thing is. How does a zombie hit me at the exact same time I hit him? Zombie barely misses you. How does he hit me? How is he hitting me from, like, way over there? Look at that, you're improving. Whenever you gain experience from defeating monsters, you will level up. The most obvious benefit is you have more HP. But you're also stronger in ways that might not be immediately obvious. When you get to level 4 or 5, go ahead and take a swing at an emu or hobgoblin. You'll find that you can mow them down like grass. And when you hit level 8, you'll find you heal much faster. Thankfully, you don't need to be a wizard to use scrolls in the dungeons. You just read off whatever nonsense is scrawled on the page and see what happens. Like most things in the dungeons, however, most scrolls are unidentified when you find them, so you'll have no idea what they will actually do until you use them. Well, once you've used them, then they're used up, so what are you supposed to do? Scrolls can be identified by reading a scroll of Identify Scroll and then selecting which one you want to identify. But your scroll of Identify Scroll might also be unidentified. In that case, you'll just have to read whatever scrolls you pick up and hope they're helpful. Because not all of them are. You now have a scroll titled Nepwan Sotopot Bidner Posharok Sartar. Okay. Oh, there we go. Now it's equipped. You now have a scroll titled, or it's an scroll of Identify Wand, Ring, or Staff. Okay. So, how do I use it? I'm not seeing it in my inventory. A ring of Maintain Armor. Interesting. So now the scroll is gone, so I've used it up, I think. Well, where do we go now? I guess, I haven't journeyed. I think I'm just gonna make a complete circuit here in a second. Yeah. Just back at the start. Okay, let's try going southeast. How's this? Southwest. I think there's a little unexplored section right there. No? Just back here. Oh, what was that? Ooh. What is that? Oh, it's a bat. Careful now, you might think it is safe on the first floor, but you'd be wrong. One need only take a glance at the bottom end of the list of those that have ventured into the dungeons, the so-called high scores list, to know that many die only a few feet from the entrance. Hardly enough time to nibble on their first slime mold before they meet their doom at the business end of a hobgoblin spear. So, the basics of fighting are simple. You face your enemy, and when you're close enough to attack, your aiming reticle will turn red. Then you press the spacebar to attack. If you miss, your opponent will flash blue. If you hit, they will flash red or fall over dead. Don't feel bad if you miss, and don't feel bad if you miss a lot. Happens to the best of us, a lot comes down to luck. But know that if you attack a monster while it is sleeping, your first attack is much more likely to hit. Ooh, bits. These look like bits. Or is that just blood? You stuff the bat here into your bag. Oh look, another thing. Let me just wait some. Yeah, very. It's nefarious. Fairy took your dropped one arrow and polymorphed it. What does that mean? You now have 11 arrows. What do I do with a bat ear? Where did it go? Oh, there we go. A mysterious appendage, when applied to your armor, seems to allow you to intuit where walls are in the dark depths of the dungeons. Okay. So let's use it. You now have one dagger called the Reptile Killers. Okay. So if I run into a reptile, I want to equip that one. Alright, where are we? Still back at the start. So what have we not explored? We haven't really explored the northwest. Northeast. Sleeping. Misses. Okay. I'm low on arrows. This is just a giant dead end. Unless I can go southeast somehow. It looks like you managed to hack off a bit of that monster. But just because it's been hacked off doesn't mean it's not a potent magical item. Monster bits are useful because they can be attached to your armor to imbue it with magical qualities. Each monster has its own bit, and each bit has its own effect. Also, if you attach at least 2 of the same type to your armor, that will increase your AC. What is AC? Even better if you have a dedicated monster for a monster. You have bleh. Okay. Even better, you have a dedicated bag for monster bits, so don't worry about them cluttering up your regular inventory. However, it's good to keep in mind that most armors only have enough room for 3 of them, so you'll have to swap them out. Also remember that these things are just stuck onto your armor. Sometimes a monster might get a good hit on you and damage them. These are improvised armor augments after all, not the expensive stuff you'll find at the shops. They don't last forever. Okay, so what do these do? If you put these under your boots, you'll be a little bit sneakier. I don't have any boots. If I get boots, maybe that'll be useful. So I'm gonna go straight down, I think. Okay, so where else do I go now? Looks like the only direction remaining is east. I'm gonna go through there and go east. Oops. Whoa, the fairy took your potion of intoxication and polymorphed it. What we have here is a very devilish concoction. One mouthful could leave you blind, groping your way through the dungeons, or it could give you the ability to see monsters through walls and in the dark. If a potion is unidentified, and most are, you will need a scroll of identify potion to determine its true nature, or instead you could just throw caution to the wind and quaff it down to see what it does. Sometimes fortune favors the bold. Also, if you find a bad potion like a potion of poison, try throwing it at a monster. Even bad potions have their uses. I now have an E-Crew potion. What does that even mean? Oh, I've leveled up. Is that an enemy? I see an enemy. I think I saw a kestrel around the corner. I'm running very low on arrows. Whoa, feel a dark presence on this floor. What does that mean? I don't know if I'm... I gotta get to a corner and recover. Magical sticks come in two varieties, wands and staves. In the end, they both function the same. You equip it in your inventory and then point it at the monster and zap them by pressing the F key. Not all are identified when you find them though. Other than using a scroll of identify wand or ring, the only way to find out what a wand does is to give it a test fire. I don't have an electrum staff. That guy looks like he's awake. I don't see any Z's coming off of him. No, nothing's happening when I'm clicking. Defeated the hobgoblin with one shot, sheesh. Whoa. What's happening? Something just happened. Alright, let me re-equip my arrows. Sounds like Mannheim Steamroller. hit. One hit KOs these guys. A snick. Wait, I'm gonna get out my dagger. Why is it not working? Okay, that's good. So the dagger of reptile killers killed the reptile. Looks like a sleeping ice gorilla. Better eat some of the food. Okay, now I'm at full health. I'll wait until I'm like really low on food. Ice monster. Nope, he didn't drop any bits. All I got was experience. Did I even get experience out of that? Just gonna do the follow the left wall tactic. Okay, so apparently I'm gonna go towards a... Oh look, I'm back here. No, I'm not. This is something new. I'm just gonna eat food to see what happens. Bummer, this food tastes awful. Well, I haven't run into any slime that I can eat, so... I'm gonna go towards the treasure chest first. It's northwest of here. See how far away the enemies are. See the snake over there, he's... Here, let me just... That's an emu, it's not a snake. Do I have any arrows left? I have one arrow left. No. next? Guess after the Kestrel and the Snick. Maybe the Goblin over here. I'm going in the wrong direction. No, I went in the right direction, I just got caught in this thing. Kestrel seems to have spotted me already. No? Now. I think my video card might be overheating. What did it do with it? My monitor stopped working.